Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Fabrizo Romano has given us an update on Solskjaer's situation. So Fabrizo Romano has said that the Man United board have held no talks with other managers and still support Solskjaer. Joe Glazer is the only one that can change the situation. So this is what Fabrizo Romano has said. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is under pressure following back-to-back home defeats to Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester United have only won one of their last 6 Premier League games. He said not so long ago that Manchester United have no plans to replace Solskjaer, despite the Man City defeat. Man United are prepared to give Solskjaer a little bit more time, and Solskjaer is expected to be in charge for the game against Watford after the international break. It said the other day that Manchester United consider sacking Solskjaer following player revolts. On Monday, Solskjaer flew back home. What? Alright. Flew back home to Norway with his family. Manchester United may have to stick with Solskjaer until the end of the season, as Manchester United are running out of time to find a Solskjaer replacement. Now, there's been a lot of managers on Manchester United's agenda. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane has been spoken about. There's a lot of Manchester United fans that would take Zinedine Zidane. Zidane is a far superior manager to Solskjaer. I think Zidane would get us back to that level where we should be at, and he would suit the strappings of the club. Plus he knows Cristiano Ronaldo well because he worked with him. Zidane is available because he left Real Madrid in the summer. Zidane won a lot of trophies when he was at Real Madrid, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree behind him. Zidane has not yet managed in the Premier League, so it would be good for him to come and experience the Premier League. But if he came to the Premier League, would he replicate what he did with Real Madrid? Now, Manchester United have already held talks with Zinedine Zidane, and reports from Spain said the other week that Zidane rejected the Newcastle job, as he's waiting for the Manchester United or France job. But reports from Spain did say earlier on this season that Zidane is not interested in becoming Manchester United manager, as it did mention that he was enjoying life away from football management. Brendan Rodgers, he's been spoke about. It said the other day that Brendan Rodgers verbally agreed to become Manchester United's new manager, but his preference would be to wait until next season. Would you take Brendan Rodgers at Manchester United? Some United fans would, and some United fans wouldn't, obviously with him being a former Liverpool manager. I've got to admire the work that Brendan Rodgers has done at Leicester. You know, Leicester's won the Community Shield and the FA Cup. He's been in charge of Leicester for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. Managed quite a lot of clubs, hasn't he? Before Leicester, he was at Celtic. He won quite a few trophies with Celtic and he enjoyed a few years with them. Before he managed Liverpool, he enjoyed one good season with Liverpool, but he didn't win anything at Liverpool. Before, he's managed Swansea. He did well there. A long time ago he managed Reading and Watford, and at one point he managed Chelsea's youth. Ralph Ragnick has also been mentioned as well. There has been talks about him coming in as the interim manager until the end of the season. There's some United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag come in, but apparently he's reluctant to leave Ajax. You've got to give him credit for what he's done at Ajax. Pochettino, he's also been spoken about as well. Pochettino is highly rated by Sir Alex Ferguson. So there you go. But in regards to Solskjaer, I think he's had long enough at Manchester United. He's been in charge of Manchester United for almost 3 years. This season is Solskjaer's third full season as Man United manager, and I did say at the start of this season that this season was going to be massive for Solskjaer because he's got big expectations to exceed, but the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. And I just think that Solskjaer's in a position that he shouldn't be in. Now, if Manchester United do sack Solskjaer, don't forget they'll have to pay £7.5 million because in the summer he signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year, and Manchester United made a mistake giving Solskjaer that new contract. And a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Solskjaer is not capable of winning trophies as Manchester United manager. He's not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Of course, we all want Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager, but obviously he's not going to. We all adore Solskjaer, reflecting on what he's done for the club. At the end of the day, he's a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance, and Ollie had a proven pedigree when he was a player. But unfortunately, as a manager, he hasn't got a proven pedigree. Before Manchester United, he was at Mould. He endured 2 spells at Moulder. And before, he's managed Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was terrible. He only enjoyed a short tenure with Cardiff. The reason he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got them relegated. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics have also been questioned a lot. Even Ronaldo's mocked Solskjaer's tactics. Analysing the vast majority of the games though Solskjaer's managed at Man United, he's been tactically naive. Manchester United should be doing much better than they are this season, because Manchester United have got a very good squad. Plus, we enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year. Made 4 signings. Brought Tom Heaton in on a free from Villa. Brought Sancho in from Dortmund. Brought Varane in from Real Madrid. And obviously re-signed Cristiano Ronaldo after 12 years. Spent around 141 million in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer's also received very strong backing from the board, and the board still continue to back Solskjaer. Obviously John Murtough backs him, Darren Fletcher's backed him, Ed Woodward's also backed Solskjaer. Woodward stood by him, Woodward did say a long time ago he was going to back Solskjaer, and he even assured that Solskjaer's job was safe even when we was enduring them bad periods. Well, obviously Woodward's refusing to sack Solskjaer, isn't he? Woodward's leaving Manchester United in January. Woodward's had a 16-year association with the club. And the Glazers have also backed Solskjaer. The Glazers have been at Manchester United for 16 years. They purchased the club for 500 million back in 2005. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. The reason the club decided to give Solskjaer the job on a permanent basis was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. Ollie knew when he'd taken over at Manchester United it was going to be a massive job and also a difficult job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Now, there is positives regarding Solskjaer. I think in certain aspects he has brought consistency back. I do like the way he develops the youth. Solskjaer's more or less giving everybody their chances to express themselves, like he surely would do when he got appointed in as Man United manager. I do think Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. So far, Solskjaer has signed 14 players. Manchester United have spent over £400 million under the Solskjaer era. Some progress has also been made under Solskjaer as well, because he has got us to semi-finals. He got us to 3 semi-finals in his first full season. Last season he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, and last season he got us to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and last season he got us to the Europa League final, and that was his first major final as Man United manager. But unfortunately, we didn't win it. We lost to Villarreal 11-10 on penalties. So there you go. And last season, Ollie got us a second place finish, and in his first full season, he got us a third place finish. And we've also extended a lot of players' contracts under Ollie. So there you go. Solskjaer is Manchester United's 4th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. Man United have sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. Obviously, we sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal, and of course we sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United are going to offload players next year. Now, I just want to give you some news on Paul Pogba. Manchester United are prepared to sell Paul Pogba in the January transfer window. Pogba could miss the rest of 2021 because on Monday, Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training. Even if Pogba wasn't injured, he wouldn't have been able to play against Watford after the international break because he's suspended. Pogba's only got 1 game to serve in the league out of the 3-match ban he got. Pogba got sent off for a 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Pogba did play in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta the other week, and I thought he was very poor in that game. Reflecting on his poor performance, he got heavily criticised. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. And it said earlier on this season that Pogba's very likely to leave Man United on a free next summer. Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been linked with Real Madrid, he's been linked with his former club Juventus, PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him. He did say earlier on this season that Pogba was offered to Barcelona, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Pogba did enjoy a very good start to the Premier League season. Obviously, he got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while, and he sustained some ankle injuries as well at Manchester United. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. We had Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. I think Manchester United will offload Nemanja Matic next year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his chances. Surprisingly, Matic is ahead of Van der Beek in our midfield. Now, Matic has had his good games at Man United, but despite that, I've got my strong reservations about him because Matic has always been a static midfielder, plus he's ageing up. He's been at Manchester United for like 4.5 years now. We got Matic for 40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Donny van der Beek, I think he's also going next year because Donny van der Beek is not getting enough game time at Man United. So reflecting on that, I haven't had much of a perception on him, but in general, he is a good player. Solskjaer should be playing Van der Beek on a regular basis, especially in the Premier League, because he's a good player. Van der Beek did come on in the 2-0 defeat to Man City last weekend, and he made an impact. He came on in a 2-2 draw against Atalanta and he made an impact. Prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer did admit that Van der Beek is frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford, and earlier on this season it said Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer, and earlier on this season Van der Beek told Solskjaer his best position. He reckons he'd be best served operating as a number 6 or as a number 8, and he did speak about his Man United future in an exclusive interview with Rio Ferdinand. But Van der Beek's agent is said to be working hard on finding a new club for his client. Van der Beek's endured what a difficult 19 months at Man United. This season is his second full season. You know, we got him for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till 2025 and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Lingard, I think he's also going next year. You know, Lingard doesn't really get in the team, does he? Lingard's looking to run down his current contract because earlier on this season it said Lingard rejected a new Man United contract offer because of 2 players. Well, Lingard's current contract at Man United expires at the end of the season. ESPN said earlier on this season that Lingard was a target for Barcelona and AC Milan. I think Solskjaer wants Lingard to stay at Man United. Well, he's been part of the club for a long time. At the second half of last season, he endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham and he made an impact. Cavani, I think he's also going next year. I can't say I want Cavani to leave though with the impact he's made since he's come to Manchester United. You know, Cavani's hold-up play is good, his movement in and around the box is good, he creates good chances and he scores very good goals. Cavani's out with injury now until December. He was out with injury earlier on this season. So obviously Cavani played no part against Man City last weekend. He didn't start against Atalanta, but he came on. And obviously he played in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. And what a performance he put out. You know, he scored a very good goal, lovely chip over Hugo Lloris. Had a very good chance in the first half of that game, should have scored that. And obviously he was playing alongside Ronaldo, and that was intriguing. You know, Cavani and Ronaldo do play well together. Cavani has got under a year left on his Man United contract. It was back in May he signed that 1 year contract extension. Man United did get Cavani on a free transfer, this season I think is his second full season. Cavani's got a good pedigree behind him though. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. Not only that, he was a long-serving player when he was at PSG. I definitely think Martial is going next year. Martial is no longer good enough to represent the club, plus he doesn't even get in the team hardly. And he come back from injury not so long ago. Martial's had one good season at Man United. That was his debut season under Louis van Gaal. So that's it. And last season he was out with a knee injury for a while. Before the start of this season though, it said Solskjaer refused to sell Martial as he remains part of his plans. Solskjaer seems to have a lot of trustworthy in him though. Don't forget Solskjaer was the one that gave Martial that number 9 shirt. Martial's been at Manchester United for like 6.5 years now. He's got 3 years left on his contract, and we got him from Monaco back in 2015 in a deal worth £57 million. Juan Mata, I think he's going next year. Mata's contract at Man United expires next summer because earlier on this year Juan Mata signed a 1 year contract extension. I can't understand why we extended Mata's contract for a further year because Juan Mata doesn't even get in the team. Plus, he's lost that yard of pace and he's aging up. But despite all of that, I think Juan Mata has had a good career at Man United. He's made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. He's been at Man United for 7.5 years, so he's been a long-serving player. We got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014 for 40 million, and at the first part of last season, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Tellez, I think he's going next year. I think Jones is going next year. I think Bailly's going next year. I think Dalot's going next year. And I think that Dean Henderson will go out on loan. Because obviously Dean Henderson doesn't get his opportunities now because De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. So there you go, and like I've said to you, Manchester United have got some very, very good players. Obviously, we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, Ronaldo's even becoming infuriated with what's going on at Manchester United at the moment. Like I said, Ronaldo mocked Solskjaer's tactics in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Manchester United are just relying on Ronaldo far too much though. Obviously Ronaldo saved Solskjaer in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta because Ronaldo netted twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. He scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season. Ronaldo scored a very good volley in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. He also had a disallowed goal in that game, but he did get an assist in that game as well as a goal. That was his first assist since he re-signed for Man United. Ronaldo scored in the 2-1 defeat to Young Boys earlier on this season. He scored twice on his second debut in the 4-1 win against Newcastle. Ronaldo has, 9 goals in all competitions so far since he re-signed. Recently, Ronaldo got named Manchester United's Player of the Month for October. That's back-to-back awards now because he got named Premier League Player of the Month back in September. And we've obviously got Mason Greenwood, that's also a talented player. You know, you've got Rashford, that's a good player. You know, Rashford's still young, got a lot of development in him. Rashford has done well in quite a few games since he's come back, but on the other side of things, there's been a few games where he's looked off the pace. You know, you've got Cavani, that's good. You've got Fernandes, that's an exceptional player. You've got Sancho, that's good, but Sancho has been poor for Manchester United so far. He's not settled in. You've got Donny van der Beek, that's good, but like I said, I haven't had much of a perception on him at Man United. You've got Pogba, that's a good player. You've got Shaw, that's a good left back, but Luke Shaw hasn't proven how good he can be so far this season, because Luke Shaw's been very poor this season so far. But where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season Luke Shaw was superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. You know, Telles is a good left back, but Telles doesn't really get in the team. But in some of the games he has been involved in, I think he has done well. You know, you've got Eric Bailly, that's a good centre-half as well, but Bailly doesn't get regular game time. Obviously, with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and for some reason Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. You've got Varane, that's also a good centre-half as well. He's done well in quite a few games for Man United. He's had a couple of games though where he's looked off the pace. Varane's out with a hamstring injury, isn't he? He's out for a month. Not so long ago, he'd only just come back from a groin injury, and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Varane initially made his return against Tottenham, and he put a good performance out in the game against Tottenham. You've got Harry Maguire, that can be a good centre-half, but he's been very, very poor this season. He's been even worse since he come back from that calf injury that he did have earlier on this season. And Wan-Bissaka, you know, he's a good right-back as well. Defensively good, but he's got to get forward more. His position's got to improve a bit more, and his crossing's got to improve. And you know, you've got David De Gea, that's a very, very good goalkeeper. He's done really, really well so far this season. So, there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.